So what is up, babes? Welcome back to my channel. I just got back from the beach. So you know that feeling, like we just got back from the beach and all I want to do is take like a fat cat nap, like a fat cat nap. Like I'm talking about a 9-hour nap. Like that's kind of how I was feeling. And then I was thinking, you guys, like I am so close to my goal. I'm trying to stay consistent as possible, and I thought, you know what, we're gonna get cozy, babe. Homegirls, if you are watching this video, go get comfy, grab your most plush comfortable blanket ever. We're in a different little setting today, like we're on the bed today. And you guys, I have my boyfriend's laptop and I have some questions, and if you guys can see by the title, we are going to be playing a self-love game. So I have wanted to play this game for so long, and you know what, I'm going to suggest that anybody who may think they don't know themselves very well and they don't know what their favorite color is, they don't know what their favorite food is, sit down, play this fucking game with me, and we're gonna figure it out. And if you've just been needing some relaxed time, like, girl, you're right there, I'm right here, we're gonna play a self-love game. So, you know, girl, it's just like we're on FaceTime together, okay? Like, even though I can't hear you talking back and saying, you know, something to me, like, girl, answer these questions as we go, and by the end of this video I hope you know a little bit more about yourself. So I hope I know a little bit more about myself, because there are some things that like I'm absolutely sure of, and then there is some things that I would love to know more about, but it's just kind of like one of those things when you go through life, that's when you figure those things out. And I thought, what better time than to do this on a Saturday night? You just got home from the beach, you got your Jameson, you got your Pepsi, and I was like, let's get into this. So before we even get into the questions, I'm going to take a shot, and I'm going to do it off camera because I'm smart. And I don't know why I did that in my last video. I was like, girl, like you're trying to get monetized over here, how are you gonna do that if you're doing it on camera? Like I kind of started to get a little bit like careless, and we're not doing that this year. We're not doing it. Snap out. So I'm gonna go ahead, check that baby out. One time. Okay, so we're back. So what I am gonna say is I searched we're not really strangers.com self-love game online. This kind of looks like a Target website, I'm not sure, but here's what it says. Who were you? This is the description of what it says. Who were you before? Who are you now? Who will you be? Self-love means loving all versions of yourself, even the ones you may not recognize anymore and the ones you haven't met yet. So there's bullet points, and there is about 6 bullet points, and it says this game is for falling in love with all of you. For 1 or more players, there are 3 levels: past, present, and future. Ooh, okay. 150 new questions, wild cards, and reminders. So I'm gonna throw in some reminders in there too, because this is gonna be like a therapy self-love sesh. Like this is just gonna be a huge like self-love fulfilling game. And if you guys want to play, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and you don't even have to do that to play with me. Like, keep watching. There is 1 final card, I don't know what that is, we'll find out, and a warning: healing may arise. Okay, so I like how this sounds. So we're just gonna jump right into the first question. So the first question we have is, what about you is easy to love? So something about myself that is easy to love, you be answering this too while I'm doing it. Something about myself that's easy to love is, I thought about this today, is like how forgiving I can be, which can either be like a kick in the ass or like a love tap on the ass. You know, it can be either or. And I think like something about myself is, what I love about myself is, yes, I'm too nice sometimes, but like that's me. That's something that I never want to go away, because like being nice and generous all the time is just like, it feels so good to be nice and generous all the time. So that is something that I love about myself, and it's easy to love about myself. I don't know if other people would agree. I feel like some people are like, you need to like stop being so nice, and like, yes, I agree, and there are times where I've definitely put my foot down like recently, but like I don't like feeling like that it's not myself, that like I'm a nice person. I don't want to feel like I'm not a nice person. I don't know, and like it gets to me sometimes, but that's something that's easy to love about myself. Next question. Oh, write a letter to your younger self. Tell them how you're doing. So if I could write a letter to my younger self, I would say, Chloe, you are still a YouTuber like you've always wanted. You're doing your music like you've always wanted. And it wasn't just a hobby, it's becoming a lifestyle. And I really hope that you can see that you're not a failure and that you might just succeed. But we're gonna take a time out for a minute because we're gonna do a reminder. So this reminder, I want you guys to really, I'm gonna repeat this twice, but I'm gonna say it, and I want you guys to really understand that this is something that I wish I heard sooner, because like sometimes we just get ahead of ourselves, and sometimes we just want to make it to the top, and without having to get through any obstacles, we want to take the easy way home. So not every step you take will be forward. Not every step you take is going to be forward. And that means like if you're willing to do whatever it takes to get to your home, to where you want to be, that you will be okay and content with the fact that you might fall back a couple times. Those dominoes you might have to set up a few different times. But there will be a moment where it is just right and you get there. This would be a good Valentine's game. So what will you no longer do for love? Okay, we're gonna take a time out. Cheers, bitch. Okay, so what will you no longer do for love? I, Chloe Chantel, something that I will never do for love, again, something that I will no longer do for love is I will no longer give all of myself away without knowing how much I am valued, and I will no longer look stupid, and I will no longer be the one that like, it will no longer like take the blame. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with this, but like in a relationship, I feel like a lot of people have, so I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I don't know. Like, I feel like a lot of people have, but one of the things that I will no longer do is take accountability for things that really weren't my fault, just because I love that person. And you know, just in life in general, that's where that's coming from. And I feel like throughout my whole life, like I was just so used to shutting down and being like, okay, to avoid like any like arguments, any fights, like, and like after a while I feel like that does get mentally exhausting. And I think if other people out there have been through that, what will you no longer do for love? Like, and apply that to your life. Don't just say that, like do something about it. Like, I think that that's something that's really important. Okay, so we're gonna do another one. A reminder: you deserve healthy love from yourself too. You deserve healthy love from yourself too. Should I look you in your eyes when you say this? When I say this? Because this is serious. Honey, babe, you deserve healthy love from yourself too. And it's okay. And no, it's not asking too much. And yes, it is very possible. And you will know when that is being reciprocated from yourself to yourself. Okay? Okay. Who's made you feel good for being who you are? Send them this card. Feel good for being who I am would be my twin sister. She's made me feel really good for being who I am because yes, she'll tell me like it is, but she'll also tell me that like I'm a really like strong-willed person that's really hard to like, that it's like really hard to come across. Like it's really hard to like it's really hard to find and keep that way. So she's made me really feel good about being strong-willed, and that's something that I never want to like lose in my life. So let me know in the comments like your answers to these questions. Like, so here's another one. Let's see what we have. What title would I give this chapter of my self-love journey? For this chapter of my self-love journey, I would call this breadcrumbs. I would call it breadcrumbs. Like, I feel like that could be a meme right now, but I would call it breadcrumbs. And do I need to explain why I would call it breadcrumbs? Because I feel like, I'm just gonna fucking explain it, okay? But I feel like because, like, my self-love is, like, leaving me these tiny little breadcrumbs. And I'm, like, I'm finding my way to, like, the fucking gingerbread house. I forgot if that's how the story goes. Excuse me? But there's, like, tiny little breadcrumbs, and I'm finding my way. And I'm, like, eating these breadcrumbs before I can even see where they're going. Which is me reminding myself right now to slow down and just follow the breadcrumbs. Don't eat the breadcrumbs. Okay? I don't know. Do you guys relate? I feel like we relate. I feel like you are. We know. Okay. What's the biggest improvement I've seen in myself this past year? Pause, time out. Okay, so the question was, what is the biggest improvement that I've seen in myself this past year? So, the biggest improvement I've seen in myself this past year is coming out of my shell just a little bit more. And I'm saying, when I say a little bit more, I mean a little bit more, like not a lot. Like, so it's only like a tiny baby step, but that's how babies start walking. And that's how I'm going to start. Like, I have really bad anxiety. I don't know if you guys know, like, I might seem like I'm very talkative, and like I am, like if I know you and like we click and we're like this, because like if I know, like I can just look at somebody, feel the energy. It might be awkward at first, and then we click, and that's like perfect. Or I could just click immediately, or I could just not click immediately. And that's like my fear, is just like those little like conversations where there's like that period of silence. Like I want to avoid at all costs, and I've been trying my best because I'm like not a small talk person, and I understand that not everyone wants to be like deep all the time. I understand, but it's also like I feel like small talk doesn't really go to a big conversation. I don't really feel like small talk is a baby step. I feel like small talk is a ended like dead end road for me. Like, and I'm saying for me, I'm not saying for everybody, I'm just saying for me. So I feel like the biggest improvement I've seen is just being able to come out of my shell a little bit more and more and more. You know, next year maybe it'll be like a bigger step, but right now it's just baby steps. So let's try a different card. Who's helped me love myself more? Who's helped you love yourself more, girl? Who's helped me love myself more? My daughter. My daughter has helped me love myself more, because before I didn't really feel like I had a big purpose on this earth, and I knew that my music career was going to be successful later in life. I knew that. So it wasn't going to be right away, so I knew there was going to be a struggle. And then when I had my daughter, yes, it was a struggle. The struggle was very real, but the happiness, the love was also very real. And I think that like topped every single bit of anything else that there was. Like, she helped me love myself more, to the point where it's like you're important, Chloe. You can't like disappear. You can't like, nothing can happen to you, because you are a human being that somebody tiny depends on. And like, I don't know what I would do or what she would do if that was like, if I was never here. Like, and that's what I'm saying, like, being a mom has helped me love myself more. Like, but yeah, that's like really important. So this is a reminder time. Oh, this is gonna be like a really hard like editing like on the screen, but we're gonna do this. We're gonna fucking do this. So it says, you deserve to take a breath. I'm taking that breath. Relax for a moment. You've made it this far. Take that in. Like, you know that saying where it's like, if you don't take a minute to stop and smell the roses, you are gonna miss the fact that the roses are even there. Like, if you don't stop and take a minute, I used to tell my boyfriend this when I first met him, that if you don't stop to take a look around and look at everything, like, you're gonna miss it all, and it's gonna be gone before you even know it. And like, that is like, that's like my worst fear, to be honest, is like my life passing me by in a split second, because it does go by faster than you would ever think. So are you lying to yourself about anything? Are you lying to yourself about anything? Okay. And that's totally normal, because I understand that some people are. Okay, I am lying to myself about how much I'm grieving. I've had a huge loss in my life. I lost my twin sister 2 years ago, and we used to go to Tahoe a lot today. So today we went to Tahoe. We used to go there a lot. Not a lot, but we went there. And that was one of the places that I had went on our 18th birthday, 4 days before my sister passed away. Well, she passed away on the 14th, so the day before she passed away. We didn't find out till the 17th. And it was a homicide case. It was a really bad situation. I've mentioned this in multiple videos. And I didn't think that it was going to be such a trigger for me to go to Tahoe, because I didn't think that it was going to bother me. I didn't think it was, and I think I was lying to myself about how many things that like I'm avoiding, because like it'll never feel the same to me. Like, and there was just like this absolute feeling of pure emptiness that I can't explain, that I think I've been lying to myself like today. And like, I don't mean this to get all like really depressing and shit, but like, that's just something that I was lying to myself about, was trying to tell myself that like, that I'm okay right now when like I'm not. Like, I'm grieving and that's okay, and like I need to understand more that that's like, it's not like anything to feel selfish or guilty of. Like, if you feel sad, because if you don't feel those emotions, you're just gonna block them out, and they're gonna come back to explode your entire life up. And that's like the last thing that I want to experience, or anybody else to experience. So I think that was something that I was lying to myself about, was being okay. Okay, what are you currently working through that others don't see? Oh, okay, what are you currently working through that others don't see? Oh, that right there. So what I just said, that's something that I'm working through that a lot of people don't see, because I don't, like, when you don't really have a lot of emotional support from more than one person, it's hard to kind of show that to other people who are just kind of like, get over it, it's like nothing, like stop talking about it, like. And my boyfriend is very good about supporting me. He listens to me, he holds me when I'm crying and when I'm going through things, and when that current like grief, and like there's just a lot of people who don't feel that same way, that it's frustrating to kind of communicate that to, because if somebody doesn't know what you're feeling, then they're not going to they're not going to have the most sympathy for you over it, because it's not them, it's not their life. They don't know you like how you know you. Like, you know you better than anybody else knows you. Don't ever convince yourself otherwise. Is there anyone who's changed your life but doesn't know it? Like my mom. Like, we haven't always been close, because she wasn't in my life when we were younger, but she is in my life now. She's been in my life for the past 3 to 4 years, and it has changed my life in a way that like I've never felt the like parental like love, like, or like the parental like safe feeling. Like, I've never had that. I don't know my dad, so my grandma was all I had, and when she passed, it was just like, you know, I was 13, 12 years old, and that was like a crazy like loss to deal with. And you know, when my mom came into my life, she didn't know how it affected me at first, because granted, things weren't like the best at the time, but you know, past the first year, like, she changed my life in the way that like I finally can say what I know, what like maternal love feels like, and like what I know that I don't want my daughter to feel, and what I do want her to feel. So one more question. Who in your life can you be your most vulnerable with? Cheers. I think I am. So the question was, who in your life can you be your most vulnerable with? And I think I am the person I can be the most vulnerable with, because I wouldn't be sitting here playing this game if that wasn't true. And I feel like that might be the same for you, or different. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for playing this game with me. This was so fun, girl. Like, I hope we got to know each other better, and I hope that you got to know yourself better, most importantly, because at the end of the day, all you have is you, and no one knows you like you. No one can invest in yourself like you can, and no one can love you like you can. And I just want you guys to know that self-love is the very first and foremost love that you should ever be seeking. And I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did, and I hope that you guys had a great weekend, or one to come. And until next time, I love you, beautiful babes.